All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Live around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network and Starcom Radio Network. Worldwide toll-free 800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And you can listen to the X Zone 7/24/365 at www.xzoneradiotv.com. My guests this hour are SJ and Russ Wells. They have been involved in the paranormal for over 35 years and have done thousands of investigations all over the country. In 1980, SJ and Russ set out on a new adventure together to seek out answers to the afterlife. After many losses of loved ones, they needed to answer the questions that they had about death. And I think we all have so many questions about death. They worked solely together as a paranormal team until 2002 when they formed their paranormal team, FOG Paranormal, closing it in 2008 to allow their team members to seek out their own endeavors. After a close call with death in 2011 in a single-car near-fatal accident that involved Russ, their interest in the same old type of investigations faded. After much contemplation and soul-searching, no pun intended, they decided to switch gears and move into a new paranormal direction. So they founded Ghost Advocates. Together as a team, like always, SJ and Russ no longer are out of the pursuit of evidence to prove that the afterlife is real. There is no doubts any longer. Now they will be focusing the evidence by using it to help those in the afterlife find the peace they so richly deserve, if that is their choice. Joining me now is SJ and Russ Wells. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rob. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks, Russ. Tell me, that is one heck of a story you guys have had together, and Russ, your car accident. My Lord, man.
Yeah.
It's just like wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting tale that goes on for many years, and it all started with a fateful bus ride. I met SJ on a Greyhound bus.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
SJ, before you met Russ, did you have an interest in the paranormal?
Absolutely. I had a near-death experience when I was 5 years old, and actually, acquired some abilities to communicate with spirits and things, and so it kind of just went on from there. And then when we met, we found out that we both had similar experiences and similar interests in the paranormal, so we decided to head out and try and figure it out for ourselves.
And Russ, what was your catapult into the paranormal?
Well, I would say when I was a kid, I was visited by a man.
Mm-hmm.
The man I was recovering from a double pneumonia. It is odd. It was a weird state of affairs that Sandy had it too. Or
I had
SJ.
double pneumonia.
Oh my gosh!
This guy came into my room. I was at home. He visited with me, I would say, for over 2 hours. The rights and wrongs, what to do as a man, what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
Got up, left, and this fellow is as solid as me and you. I need to get something to drink, so I left my room, and my parents had clear view of my room, and my mom asked me who I was talking to all that time, and I said, didn't you see the guy go out? And they said, no, we didn't see anybody leave your room, and there was a picture of him up on the wall, And I said, well, gosh, that's him right there. And my dad said, that's your uncle, and he was killed 2 years before you were born by a train accident. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that got my attention. Is something that stayed with me for a very long time, to this day.
To this day, yeah.
I guess it would. Now, thousands of paranormal investigations. What kind of investigations have you done, SJ?
Oh gosh. Well, anything that, let's just say that anything that you can, building wise, mm-hmm. property wise, home wise, that you can think of, we've probably done it. Taverns, old hospitals,
right.
Schools, battleships. I mean, you name it, we've done it.
Tell me, Russ, are we any closer to understanding what the other side is all about, what spirits are all about, what ghosts are all about?
I believe so. I believe it's just a matter of time before someone comes up with that definitive piece of equipment that actually lets us make contact. It's only a matter of time. The only problem is right now, all the evidence that we're able to gather, and there's some cool stuff that's out there by many, many different groups, mm-hmm. It always gets picked apart because there might be a rational explanation for it. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. Unless people have one-on-one contact with an entity, or you get pushed or pulled, scratched, whatever, you actually experience the paranormal, it's hard for you to grasp it. Mm-hmm.
I have to ask you this. What are ghost advocates?
Mm-hmm. Well, I kind of came up with the idea, and it's actually more than just one thing. The reason we decided to do this because we have granddaughters
right.
that are very interested in becoming investigators when they reach a certain age, and now one of them is at that age, and I started thinking about that. She will basically be, and I'm hoping to focus a lot on teenagers and young adults to form a new generation of paranormal investigators, because there's been a lot of controversial stuff going on in the paranormal over the last 10 years or so that really frustrates me. And doing this as long as we have, mm-hmm. It's came to the point where I want to see a new generation do it the right way.
Yeah.
Well, what is it that is frustrating you so much, SJ?
Well, I don't know. There's just so much backbiting.
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal shows have become almost a joke.
Yeah.
And it's because they need to get the ratings, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And the people that do them are very nice people. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But the problem is that the public, their insight about the paranormal is totally twisted. And so what I'm trying to do is get these teenagers and young adults involved to become real paranormal investigators, the ones that have compassion and respect and all the good things you can think of, almost like business skills, because you have to be able to do face-to-face communication. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to do all kinds of things. I mean, and my goal is to accomplish that before I make my transition, sometime in, hopefully not the near future, but sometime in the future, So I want my granddaughter to be able to say, I was taught the right way, and this is the way it should be done. Let's try it, And yeah, I get very frustrated when I see investigators go, and the only thing they're interested in is gathering the evidence. They're not interested in the helping part of it anymore.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed about the ghost. Well, not only ghost researchers and investigators, but Bigfoot, UFOs, extraterrestrials. Every part of the paranormal is that there is a lack of sharing of information.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand that. Isn't the entire reason for becoming a researcher is to solve the problem, to get the proof, to prove to the public that this is real, so why not work together? And you know what, SJ, I love your idea about mentoring your grandchildren to do things the right way. That is so great.
Yeah. Well, the reason, I'll tell you what the biggest part of the problem is. It's ego. Everybody is trying to get a paranormal show. Everybody is trying to be famous. Well, that's not what we came in this to do in the first place. When Russ and I first started, the people that we looked up to and thought were doing it the right way was
Ed and Lorraine.
Oh
Warren. God, sure, yeah.
And Hans Holzer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who wrote a great book about ghosts.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of their information is outdated. They didn't know as much back then, as we know now. So it's a problem with moving forward. The paranormal community has become stagnant with this skewed outlook on what they should be doing, and it just became like a carnival, and it's very sad because there's so much we could be doing, and to get respect from the public, and we're not doing it.
Well, Russ, do you think that these so-called paranormal reality shows are working against you in trying to get the credible people like yourself and SJ, to go forward with credible ways of investigating, and that the public is watching these so-called reality shows and saying, "Come on, this is nothing else but a bunch of hooey"?
I think that some of them, like SJ said, they have to produce to keep the ratings up, to keep the show on. Your ratings have got to be high. It's an unfortunate fact. I don't think they're necessarily working against me, but they work against what we're trying to ultimately achieve.
Right. Yeah, and when I said working against you, that wasn't a direct reference to you, my friend. That was towards credible researchers.
Yeah,
right.
I understand. I don't have too many problems with them. They do a good job. The equipment that they've come out with is awesome. I have questions about it. I'm still old school. A camera, a recorder, and maybe a parabolic dish.
Right.
Just amp up the hearing. But other than that, we use our inside things, our inside feeling of what's going on. And we've been pretty good on our success rate on capturing evidence. I don't have any problem with them. I wish they wouldn't put it, because when you what we call what's the word I'm looking for? Make them mad. You know what I mean? Provoke. There it is. When a lot of these TV shows will provoke, we'll talk to them angrily. They'll make fun of them or whatever. I don't agree with that because I've had an experience myself where that didn't work out so well. They don't enjoy that. We're friends. We're trying to help the ghost. We're trying to help the client, and it ain't about us.
And educate the public.
Right.
And educate the public as much as we can. After my accident, I had a message that was given to me, and it's learn what you know, or teach what you know. I'm sorry. Teach what you know. And that's what we're doing.
This question is for each one of you. First of all, I'll ask you, SJ. What is your most passionate part of the paranormal?
I would say helping people understand what it is actually about and dispelling a lot of the misconceptions.
And Russ, what is your most passionate part of the paranormal?
I agree with SJ on this. Is Sandy?
Yeah.
Anyway, but the evidence is still cool. When you get that one photo, or you get that EVP,
right?
That's pretty cool. So that and actual contact, I love the actual physical contact with an entity. It's scary at first, but after a while,
it's an amazing
cool.
experience.
Yeah.
Could you give us an example where you've actually had contact with an entity?
Well, I can give you a positive one, and then Russ can give you his
Sure.
negative
Okay,
one.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Well, the positive one is when you feel someone someone reach and touch your hair, and it feels like, like somebody stroking your hair, or they just touch your arm and kind of wrap their hand around your arm, like I'm here.
Yeah.
I wish you could see me, and that's where my compassion for them comes in, because most of them, I would say, 90% of any contact we've had has been positive.
Yeah.
So, but Russ had an interesting negative experience. I'll let him tell you.
Sure,
about
Russ, tell me about it.
The old territorial prison in Montana, Deer Lodge. It's a cool place. It's so awesome to go there. The history is there. Montana alone is rich with history. But on that particular night, we had investigated the prisons, or that prison, quite a few times prior. I think 3 or 4 times before this. And the son of the caretakers, or the management, was with us. And the one thing that these ghosts in this prison do not like is whistling and keys jingling. It drives them crazy. Well, this guy, he says, well, we're going to get some action tonight. And he was walking around, and he was jiggling his keys. And then I heard someone else whistle, and nobody else heard that whistle, apparently, just me. I did the cardinal sin of investigating. I left my partner behind. He was checking something out, taking a picture, and I went on into the last cell. And it was so odd, because as soon as I went in there, it felt ice cold, and my ears. You know how your ears will pop when you're going, or not for real pop, but when you're going up and down an elevation.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's even recorded. I said, "I can sense you, buddy," and then my ears popped, and then a second later, I was hit across the chest with, I don't know what. It picked me up and threw me 3 feet back into the concrete wall. And as a matter of fact, I still have the coat. The paint was embedded into my coat, or it's still there. It's hard to get it out. And I had a bruise across my chest. And I tell you, that was the scariest moment in my life. And I had been doing it quite a long time to that point. And it took all of them to get me to go back in there. That's how scary it was. And when we did, we conducted an EVP session, and we were asking direct questions. And what it came down to, I reminded them of a guard that used to work there. And did you intend to hit me? Yes. Will you do it again? Yes. And when that second yes came out, Russ was gone.
I don't blame Russ for going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate provoking,
Yeah.
because it gets them in a bad mood. And if you have someone that was mean in life, chances are going to be not good into in the beyond, because they don't understand what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
SJ, why do some ghosts stay behind and others go to the light?
That's a question that all paranormal investigators probably ask themselves every single time that they come in contact with one. I believe it depends on the situation, how they died. Like, for instance, most people, I've found that most people that pass away from natural causes, or they got to say goodbye to their family before they left, or things like that, they just naturally go to wherever we go,
Right.
But But I think that people that die of traumatic death, it's either one of several things, is they don't understand that they're actually gone. It takes them a while to understand that. Then some will move on, but others still stay. Violent offenders, like murderers and serial killers and rapists and things like that, we found actually stick around longer. And there's just a lot of, I don't know, there's just no one true answer as to why they stay. I mean, we try to convince them to go, a lot of investigators seem to think that they can force them to leave and go to the other side, but it's not true.
How do you force someone who has already died, who is now in a spirit form, to do anything?
Exactly. And another reason is because our life is made up of free will and choice.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And we make our own decisions. Well, it's no different when you pass to the other side. You still have your own free will and you have your choice. If you want to stay, you're going to stay. I mean, that you can bind some energy, use some certain techniques, bind energy, and they will be kind of dormant,
Right.
But they can come back, and they will. And usually if they're already not so nice, they're going to be pretty upset.
Yes, and rightfully so. And something else I have never understood is why some paranormal researchers or investigators call themselves ghost hunters. Well, the way I look at it is, if you're going to hunt something, you're going to kill it. They're already dead, for goodness sake. And why is there such a lack of respect when it comes to dealing with spirits?
I don't know, but I can honestly tell you that is one thing, one of the biggest things that I am focusing on in training these new investigators. Yeah.
Russ and SJ, we've got to take our commercial break at the bottom of the hour with the news. Please stand by. Thanks so much for joining us. Great talking to you. Okay. Exo Nation, Russ and SJ Wells are my special guests this hour, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and heard live and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, as well as the Starcom Radio Network. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away. Ever wondered if your advertising dollar is really working for you? If your ad would have been here, you and more than 4 million people would be listening to it right now. Contact ads at xzoneradiotv.com. If you enjoy reading a good mystery with a touch of the paranormal, then you'll love From Out of the Woodwork by William S. Peckham. Sean Kennedy, a Toronto contractor, buys derelict houses, guts them, and turns them into multi-family dwellings. When Sean buys 29 Livery Lane, a century house in ruins, and starts the renovation, the house fights back. He is visited by ghosts of owners past. His visions are triggered by touching an oak mantle, reading a faded letter, opening an old locket, or opening a brand new casket in the basement. These visions will take you on a trip across southern Ontario from Niagara Falls to Toronto to Kingston. From Out of the Woodwork is now available in paperback and on your favorite electronic reader. To order your copy of From Out of the Woodwork, go to www.williamspeckham.com. That's www.williamspeckham.com. Good real estate websites are not just about showing listings, but offering visitors valuable information about neighborhoods, market statistics, tips, and personal insights. Luckily, you will find that on Roost, but you won't on many other real estate websites in Budapest. That's why we created Roost. Roost is a website with tailored results for the foreign investor, curated by Hungarian-loving expats who found their home abroad and decided to roost in Budapest. Let Roost help you get started on the right foot. Whether you intend to live, work, play, retire, or simply invest abroad, Roost offers all types of properties in Budapest, from affordable studios to luxury homes. From neighborhood insights like where to grab a great coffee or how to buy property, our team of local experts can answer your questions and speak to the direct concerns of a foreign investor. Buying foreign property is an exciting and complex adventure. It can also be very time-consuming and costly if you don't have the best information and resources at hand. Roost provides professional real estate services and assistance to an international clientele of foreign property investors and rental apartment owners in Budapest. For more information on Roost, visit their website at www.roost.co. That's www.rooste.co. Manifestation is driven by imagination, intent, and passion. In our culture, all three have been distorted and disabled by modern media and exploitation. Re-engage your imagination and your passion by entering into the world of paranormal romance. Kahir O'Donnell takes her readers on an exciting journey into the endless possibilities of loving, passionate, and mutually respectful male-female relationship. Her latest book, The Long Dark Night, features special ops adventure, a daring rescue, a psychic woman from the stars, and a special agent that will die to protect her. The Long Dark Night by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at kahiraodonnell.com or amazon.com.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Wouldn't you love to know the secret to everything? Well then, meet Dr. Kimberly McGeorge and her cutting-edge breakthrough knowledge that combines science with possibility. Dr. Kimberly brings real-life answers and healing to those open to alternative solutions. She teaches solution-based programs and classes that will change all areas of your life forever. Specializing in conscious creation, intuitive readings, and energy medicine, you can rapidly shift health, relationships, business, and money and abundance challenges quickly. Receive her best-selling book, Secret to Everything, at no cost by going to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone. That's right, transformation can start now. Just go to secrettoeverything.com/X-Zone and receive Dr. Kimberly's book for free.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenda, and you're listening to my dad, Ron McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, everyone. SJ and Russ Wells are our special guest this hour. Is there a website that our listeners can go to, SJ?
Well, we have a new blog. It's It's called. It's at the Ghost Advocates. I think it's either ghostadvocates.wordpress.com or the Ghost Advocates. I can't remember what I put, to be honest with you.
Alrighty.
But that's where they can go read the blogs that I've been recently doing, and been getting some good interest in it too. So it talks about a lot about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Russ, where has been the most haunted place that you and SJ have gone to do ghost research at?
At first, I would say the Oxford Tavern and Saloon. Yeah.
Where's that?
It's Snohomish, Washington. I can't say
Snohomish, Washington.
Okay.
Right. The other, honestly, would have to be the aircraft carrier down in San Diego.
It's not San Diego.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
What was the name of that ship?
USS Hornet.
The Hornet. Wow.
Really?
If you want to go somewhere and you want to experience something, go to that ship. Mm-hmm. Make it an off day where there isn't a lot of tourists, and it's nice and quiet. Because I'll share with you real quick.
Please.
I had an interesting concept here. I was walking along, just taking in the sights. I'm a big WW2 nut. I for some reason I think I was reincarnated after I got shot down. I don't know, but anyway, I was walking around and looking at all the historical artifacts and that's throughout the ship.
Right.
I had to go to the bathroom, so I looked up. Here's it says the bathrooms is this way, and I go in there and I set my equipment down outside on a little shelf. Go in and start doing my business. Well, guys, you know how it is when you start to urinate against metal, it kind of makes a sound, right?
Right.
And it's echoing throughout this little bathroom area that was a pretty good-sized bathroom area, actually. And about 30 seconds into me going here, I heard a second stream hit on the other side. Plain as day. No mistake, because I could still hear and this one was separate. I just looked over to my left, said, "How's it going?" Zipped up my pants and left. Yeah, that is a really good place. It's hard to pin. I've been to so many places that are so dang cool. Mm-hmm. So much history. That's the thing.
Well, let me ask you, how much does history play into the investigations that you do?
Absolutely everything. Absolutely everything.
You need to know the history of your location, be it a residential area, a commercial area. If you have somebody sees a ghost just walking down the street, okay, well, what's the history on that area? And then there's the cool stuff when you start going back in the 1700s, and that gets really cool.
One of Russ and I's favorite places to investigate are ghost towns.
Yeah.
And they're not called ghost towns because there's nobody there. They're actually, most of them are haunted. Yeah.
Really? Eh? What kind of ghost towns have you gone to, and where were they located? Which states?
Well, mostly the ghost towns that we've been to have been in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
But in other places, but the main concentration was in Montana. The one that we really like going to there's actually two. One of them is Bannock Ghost Town, which was the original territory capital of Montana, and they have actually like 50 original buildings there.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they got the Mead Hotel. I got a little story for you real quick, if you want it.
Please.
Okay. The Mead Hotel is a beautiful building. Obviously, no one stays in it. We're talking about these are all abandoned buildings on a government property.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Sandy, we go into this place. We go upstairs, and we're kind of checking it out. And we were talking about, how it was back then.
Yeah, how there used to be prostitutes.
Right.
Right.
And off the cuff, I just said, "How much for a good time with a guy, ladies?" And we got an EVP that said 2 bits.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Talk about inflation.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Yeah.
why do you think that ghosts hang around bars and pubs, taverns?
Well, my opinion about that is there's a lot of violence that's, associated with bars and taverns. Because, you get a lot of fights. Sometimes you get deaths. I mean, people, stabbing each other and shooting each other. And
then that pendulum can swing the other way because the person goes there because he's liked or she's liked. That's like their
home away from home.
Home away from home. And, and we got one up here in the area we live in, Concrete. There's a gentleman at the Hub Tavern right downtown Concrete. They're open, I don't know, probably all the time. But his name is Mac. He used to come there all the time, and people have seen him there. Sandy got a fantastic photo of him.
Mm-hmm.
He was transparent. Half of him was in the pool table.
Yeah.
And the other half was on the outside of it.
Yeah.
So cool. So, yeah, I maybe it's acceptance, and that's their place to hang out, like I said, or it could be
maybe it's because
violence.
Maybe it's because it's what they know. It's what they did.
Right. Are there a lot of ghosts that hang around in graveyards, or is this just a myth?
Oh no, they're there.
Yeah.
I don't, and that's one of the craziest things I've ever really realized is that why would you want to hang out in a graveyard?
Yeah, exactly.
Or a cemetery.
Yeah.
And the answers we usually get is I think it's because they think their family's going to come there. They haven't been able to find their family for whatever reason, or they're too afraid to leave their body. I don't know.
I tell you what, when it's my time, I ain't hanging around too long.
No.
I got stuff to do, man. You realize at that point in my existence, I can go down and get Miami Dolphins cheerleaders right in their locker room. They won't even know I'm there.
Oh, there's a first. Oh, heavens.
I just out of the box. That's after I'm dead. While I'm alive, I got to be a good boy.
Because SJ will take care of you, right?
Yeah, she will expedite the death.
Actually, I told him if I go first, expect to be haunted.
Well, you know the old saying, a happy wife is a happy life.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, when it comes to the entire big picture of ghost research, what do we know about a ghost? What have we been able to establish beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is Ghost 101?
Well, I would say that the main basics is that we understand that whatever a ghost is it used to be a person.
Right.
And that I would say that is the fundamental know-all that everybody knows. It used to be a person. And then, why they stay comes into play. Well, we still don't understand quite why they stay, but we do understand that they do stay, and that we have gathered so much evidence about it, now it's time to figure out why,
Yeah, because I'll quote Yoda from Star Wars.
God, Russ.
Luminous beings we are, not this crude matter, meaning that we are made up of energy, which is correct.
And that energy stays here.
And that's where your triphase meters and all these different EMF detectors that they've been coming out with, some of them are, I believe they're pretty dang good. I don't put too much stock into ghosts turning on and off flashlights.
Right.
Or manipulating things in that nature, because I think they have so much energy that they'll be able to expend at one point. They wouldn't want to waste it on a daggum flashlight.
And we also do know that they need energy to communicate with us.
Yes.
We captured a video where I was standing next to a power box in, it was an old hotel, I think. and you could see energy balls coming out of the power box.
Mm-hmm.
That was on the.
Yeah, not to be mistaken with orbs.
Oh, all right. All right. There, you've just brought up a very interesting question. What are orbs?
Well, I would say, Russ, you answer that and then I'll answer.
Okay. 90% of what you're going to see on a TV screen by somebody can be explained as dust.
Right.
The bugs, you clearly seen wing movement, stuff like that. I mean, you just got to actually look at what you're looking at, and not standing there going, whoa, because I've done that many, many times. Went, whoa, and it wound up not being anything. An orb is self-illuminating. When a piece of dust flies into your night vision and you see this thing flashing, people will go, wow, that thing is flashing. It's got to be an orb. Well, what it's actually doing is it's going in between the beams of the ultraviolet lights.
Ah.
As they're being cast out, this thing's going across these beams. So it hits light, goes dark. Hits light, and they think they got an orb. No, it's a piece of dust. Orbs are self-illuminating. They have controlled movement. Dust will go in one direction, or it'll swirl. But you'll see that it has no intelligence about it. It's just caught up in eddy currents in the air as we move. A lot of people think when they look in their house, and they got to ask themselves where they're walking on the carpet. Well, yeah, but I vacuumed. I've heard this 1,000 times. I vacuumed. It doesn't matter. Tiny particles will come up whenever you walk into a room.
Well, sure. Plus your skin is always flaking.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would want to go into a room, sit, let everything calm down, everything not move, and then start taking your photos. But we've actually seen orbs that'll go up. They'll come up, go up stairs. As a matter of fact, we had cameras set up in our office. They go up the stairs. They stop in midair. And then either they'll go to the left or go to the right, up, back down, and then they'll go back down the stairs. Now, I don't know of any dust that's going to do that.
So what is an orb?
Energy. Some people say it's 1,000 ghost hook that's balled up and, and all this, that, and the other. No, I believe, now, I'm not claiming myself as an expert by any means. I've been in it a long time. I think it's just a ball of energy because we are energy.
Right.
And what would the most efficient form to travel?
Energy.
Is a ball. Right.
That's right.
So that's my thoughts on it. All the ones that I've seen were round, perfectly round. Well, no, when we caught them on camera, you see them move. That's because of the time delay in your recordings. Anyway, but yeah.
All right.
That's my.
All right. What's your take on orbs, SJ?
Well, pretty much the same as Russ's, but I believe that the reason that you're seeing them in a orb shape. Personally, I don't call them orbs. I call them anomalies.
Right.
Okay.
Because the word orb denotes that everything's everything's paranormal, but because it's not. But what I think of it is it's one form that they can travel in, but at some point, if they get enough energy, they can manifest into an apparition that you can recognize or see with your eyes.
Yeah.
What?
That's the reason you get a face or
half
body apparitions.
Yeah.
They can't project that much energy that to do that.
Sometimes you'll get a full body apparition out of it, but it's not very common.
Yeah. I've seen pants and shirts. Nothing in them. Witnessed by 3 other people.
No, well, what he means is no head and no.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But the pants and the legs were like they sit just right on this guy, and he was running away from us.
Yep.
That was in the death row section of the prison I mentioned before.
When you guys go out to do an investigation, who's the boss? SJ or Russ?
Her.
Me.
Well, that didn't take very long.
Well, it's because I'm more organized than he is. He's the techie guy. You know, he takes care of all that stuff. I know nothing about it. So
her abilities to sense things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it helps me when I'm doing camera placement.
Okay.
I mean, I got some of these in that area, but she's really got the mojo when it comes to that.
So would you say that you're a bit intuitive, SJ?
Yeah, but it's really weird. Sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not.
Right.
I just, when I go into an investigation, my first priority is to get as much information as they'll give me, so that I can record it on the recorder or write it down, and then that way I can do my research or the history afterwards to try and put the name with the face, so to speak, and so we can tell our clients about what they've got there.
Sure.
And that's pretty much, yeah. I organize all the investigations. I do all the websites, everything.
Yeah.
Russ just kind of is there.
I set the equipment up and get the coffee and tea.
Yeah.
So you're the brains and he's the brawn.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but the brawn's running out of...
Yeah, we're getting older, so brawn's getting a little weaker.
Yeah, get a little rust on some of them brawn's parts.
Listen, I understand you guys have 3 books out as well.
Well, she does.
I do, yeah.
By the way, she is an awesome writer. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's just biased, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I'm working on 2 new books, too, so... I'm always on the computer. You can ask Russ. There's probably not 10 minutes out of the day that I'm not on the computer.
Yeah.
What are your books about?
Well, the first book I wrote with a friend of mine who's also a paranormal investigator, Dan Norvell, which was Beyond Life The Ghost Chronicles, and it was like a anthology of eight short stories.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost. And our perspective was to allow people to see what it would be like for ghosts in their world,
Yeah.
So it was mostly about the ghosts, not the investigator or not the living, but the ghosts, and how they live and react to us and that kind of thing. The second book was, I kind of jumped into the genre of vampires. It was an interesting experience, but I'll never do it again because it was very difficult for me because I'm not into that kind of stuff. But the third one is an actual nonfiction book. It was my life story from the age of 5 when I received my gifts until about 21 when I met Russ, and that's where one of the new books comes in. It's called Haunted 2, Our Paranormal Journey, and that's about me and Russ's experiences together, which I hope to have out by October, but we'll see. And then the other one is called, what is it? Ghosts of Hell's Gate, and that's a fiction book.
The movie Ghost, I think there isn't anyone who hasn't seen that with Patrick Swayze. And, of course,
right.
What was her name? Not Demi Moore,
Demi Moore.
The psychic.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, there you go. How true to life, based on your personal experiences as investigators, was Ghost?
Very.
Really?
I do too. I thought it was really good.
I believe that's what they do. They sit around and after they're saving a loved one, they'll stay around for about a week or so to make sure that everybody's okay, and then they'll move on.
Hopefully.
Yes. Well, I've actually experienced where a couple of loved ones stuck around for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And ended up having to kind of convince them to move on, and because they have to know you're okay. For when you love somebody, they don't want to leave you and have your heart broken. So
it's just like the relationship I had with my grandmother. I mean, she practically raised me, and there'll be times in my life where I'm facing something, a crisis, health-wise, whatever, and I can feel her squeeze my hand.
Oh, wow.
So it just comes and goes. It's like she can sense when I'm in distress, shows up to comfort me, and then just goes back.
Yeah. But there's, like you said, there's others that do stay.
Yeah.
But they don't stay. They don't stay forever because, like I said, it usually has to do with a traumatic death or a violent death, or I don't know, other variances of that.
Like people have said they've seen suicides reenacted from different places and things like that. I've never seen that anything like but some of the residual, where they're time loop.
Yeah,
and it's just a replay of what they did every freaking day, And
I must tell you, I've been doing this show now for 24 years. I've interviewed over 3,800 people. And I must tell you that you two are the two coolest people.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I can tell that you guys are one heck of a great team. No holds barred. Each one of you knows where your place is in the pecking order. And SJ, I know you're on top. And Russ, hey, listen, it's a guy thing. We have to say yes, dear. And, it's just been great talking to you. It's been honest. It's been fun. It's been informative. And I love the fact that you think so much of your grandchildren, that you think so much about your chosen endeavors, that you want it to be done right, and you want to become mentors, and God bless you for that.
Well, it's important to us. It's very important to us.
What are your final thoughts for the members of the X-Zone Nation around the world listening tonight? What would you like to tell them about ghosts?
My accident in 2011, I died. I'm pretty sure I died. I don't remember much about it, but I do remember that I went to the other side, and I met my grandmother, my mother, and my father were there, and we were in the hallway of her house. I knew it instantly where I was.
Right.
And I was told that I couldn't come home, I couldn't come back, but that I needed to teach what I know about that. I know that when our time is done, have no fear. You're going home. That's it in a nutshell. You're going back to what you knew as home. All my relatives were there. I saw everybody. So it's home. And ghost, when it comes right down to an entity, a spirit, or whatever they need to be called, we need to stop exploiting this. And stop.
Where are you guys? You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen, I don't know what happened, but we've run out of time for tonight. I'd love to have you both on again in the future. Do me a favor. Keep the great work up. And it's been such a great pleasure talking to you. Take care of yourselves now.
Thank you, Rob.
Bye-bye now. X-Zone Nation, I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. So until tomorrow night, remember, always keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. From everyone here to everyone out there, good night, everyone.